Greetings and welcome to the very first episode of the drawing series. Being as this is the first episode, I just want to let you guys know that there are some technical difficulties. My over-the-shoulder drawing camera came out really bad, so I'm going to do my best to correct it in the future for future episodes, which we are planning on. Today we have Artie Nyman with us. He's a lifelong friend of mine. We used to draw way back in the day. I'd be playing Dungeons and Dragons with him. We'd sit there, be sketching and doing stuff like that, and he's an amazing artist. I'm going to put his links in the comments below if you want to check out his Etsy page. And if he's got anything else he wants to share, I know he's got a lot of events in the New England area and a little bit along the Atlantic coast. So if you guys are looking to pick up some of his art, you can check it out. And you can also find out where his next show is going to be if you want to meet the artist himself. So I'm not going to drag this out. I just wanted to reintroduce you guys to Artie. And also, if you want to see him in another episode, you can go back and check out many of the Vodkast and Friends episodes that we've done. And Artie's been a part of them, and he's been a big part of my life. Huge influence on me and a great friend. So without further ado, the very first episode of Drawing with Artie. So this is our plan for the night. What we're going to do is we're going to pick... You have like adjective and noun cards, basically? Is that what it boils down to?
I think they're just nouns. Like wolf, warrior, Sasquatch.
Like demon bat or something like that. We could end up with anything. We don't know what we're going to end up with, and we're just going to draw it tonight and see what we come up with.
Yeah.
What's your favorite lead to go to?
Kick it old school, man, with a good old...
Number two?
Number two. I don't even know what... Actually, this has nothing on it. Oh, wait. No eraser on it, but I never use them anyways. I don't know where they go. I think I whittle them off with my thumb or something.
I go to the Dollar Tree and I get the ones that just go on the end of the pencil and I just piss through them and like they last as long as they do, and then I just throw another one on there. I used to be a really hard lead person. I used to go with like 6H, but now like usually 4H is kind of like my go-to, and then like I'll go back and ink it later on.
I use penciling really as like a framework, so I like it light so I can erase it easily.
Yeah.
But this brand of eraser totally changed the game for me. Arch. Greg Capullo, who we're both huge fans of, he posted it once on his Instagram.
Mm-hmm. And
I got a pack, and I've been like total convert. It erases like everything, like pencil and stuff. You can see it like pick up. You know how like pink erases, sometimes it's a dice roll a little bit, like maybe it's going to leave a skid mark.
Yeah. Yeah, I was working on something the other day, one of those goblin pictures that I'd showed you, and I ran into that situation where like just the eraser would not take away part of the lead. I'm like, oh my God, well, done there.
And then for markers, I like Sharpies.
Sharpies are fun. Yep.
This is a Sharpie. It's a pen. It's not like the classic Sharpie like this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Whoops.
I like both of them. I love the fine lines. You know what I like to do is I like to try to do like a real quick drawing with the thicker Sharpie and then go back at it and add like thinner line details.
Yeah. Sometimes I do that in reverse. I'll do the thin, then I'll hit it with like a Sharpie outline, the thick, and then microns. I love microns.
Yeah. The 0.05 or whatever it is. Yeah.
0.5 is one of my favorites. 0.3 and 0.5, definitely.
My only problem is with the finest of those, I always end up bending the tip. Like no matter how hard I try, I'm like, oh, I bent another one. Sleechy, if I can find it here, let me see. For my birthday one year, Carol ordered me a bunch of like pens and stuff, and like I messed around with a lot of them, but there's one that I always recommend, and it's a Sleechy. It's a white and silver looking thing. I don't think I've got one here, but it is. Oh, there it is, right here. It's so fine. It's just as fine as the micron, but I've never bent a tip on one of these. They're really good. Yeah, I'll have to send you the link for them. They're fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't like a lot of the gel tip stuff because it will leave, at least with my pressure style of how I press on stuff, it leaves a little like J, like a little curve.
Yeah.
Try to lift the pen up, it leaves like a little trail. I go like a draw line and then it goes.
Yeah, gel. I like you know, if it's the only thing I have on hand and I feel like drawing, I'll draw with it. But like I usually will try to avoid that when I'm drawing because I feel like it doesn't dry as fast either, and I always end up hitting it with my side of my hand or something.
Microns and Sharpies dry the fastest, for sure.
Yeah. Yep. I am sure that they probably already sell something like this, but this is like a great idea, like to just have artist prompts, to have like cards that you can pull cards from, and you could actually make like expansions like Cards Against Humanity, where you could do like, you know, this is the da 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 version of the card, and you know.
Yeah, have like a horror pack.
Yeah, exactly, like bloody or like scared or.
We can do that with these. We could choose a theme like fantasy.
Yeah.
Pick 2, or horror, pick 2.
I think we should pick the 2, and then we should pick the theme of what we're going to draw.
All right, first pick.
Here we
Ruins.
go. Ruins.
Yeah. You can do multiples too if you want. Oh, ghoul. You want to pick more?
Let's pick one more, and if it fits, we'll go with it. And if it doesn't, well, no, let's do it. That'll be the wild card one. The third one will be wild card.
All right. Third one for a while. Christmas tree.
Okay.
Christmas tree.
Ruins, Christmas tree, and a ghoul. Ghoul. What do you think of when you think of ghoul right off the top of your head?
What are some of your likes?
Ghouls.
Oh, I love ghouls.
Whether or not ghouls exist or
They do, though.
No, they don't.
No, they do.
You've never seen them.
Yes, I have seen them.
Like glowing, like bulging eyes, and like drawn figure, like starved, you know, like emaciated.
Yeah. Their
Like,
clothes, if they have any, are just kind of clinging to them. And
yeah, they're all filthy, like sharp, jagged claws and stuff.
was a ghoul a human previous to its undead life?
I believe so. If we're talking D&D lore, I think it's humanoid.
Okay.
It could be like a dwarf, ghoul, Christmas tree, ruins, and ghoul.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell I'm going to do with Christmas tree. I guess Christmas trees are ruins after Christmas, wouldn't you say? I guess they're
Yeah,
all
they've been like decapitated, so
they're just on the side of the road, like. I'm a ghoul. You're a ghoul. We're all ghouls. Oh. It's funny trying to make decisions as you're going along. Like, does this ghoul have a nose? I don't know. Maybe it doesn't.
yeah. Oh, sometimes it's totally like organic. Like it changes as. Sometimes you just got to start doing it, and it's something totally different comes out.
So what drives you to create art? What makes you want to create art?
It's a good question. I love to love my imagination.
Mm.
I love fantasizing and stuff, and thinking about fantasy worlds and things like that.
Yeah, it kind of lets you kind of create those worlds in a certain way.
Yeah, or try to.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever. Something I've learned is I very rarely what I see in my head translates to what's on the page.
I'm the same way. Like, I have an idea. I know what I want it to look like. And then somewhere along the way, things change. I start to see a line that gives me an idea. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Maybe he's got a strap that comes across here or something.
Yeah.
Do you make faces when you're drawing, like a face?
I've never studied myself.
I can feel it. Like when I'm like, I want him snarling or something, I'm like, I'm doing it in the face myself.
Oh, yeah. Stuff like that. Yeah. Like make sounds and yeah, sometimes. How about you? When you're like creating, what do you think of?
It's weird. Sometimes I see something that'll inspire me, or someone else's art often will inspire me. I'll be like, oh, I love that. I want to see like what it would look like in my style. And then as I'm drawing, like I'm trying to almost create a small story about, especially if it's a character. Most of the stuff I draw is character driven anyway. So I try to kind of come up with that story so that it's a little bit more personalized, I think.
Mm.
I remember like it was so much easier though. Like I feel like, and like I guess it's all depending on how you spend your time. But like when I was younger, I would sit around and just draw for hours. And
It always felt like I always still try to keep a pen and paper with me, but like I feel like phones kind of took over that gap if you're like sitting around or whatever.
yeah, they really did. If you look around, I mean, even people in cars, for God's sakes, every day, like I get behind somebody who is stuck on their phone, and I'm like, oh my God, get off your phone. You're driving. Like, just drive or get where you need to go, then go on your phone.
Right.
I don't know if this is so much a ghoul, but it's ghoulish.
I don't know if these are ghouls, but I've been drawing a ton lately, and I'm like loving it. I can't recommend being creative enough, just in general. You don't have to draw or anything, but just be creative with whatever it is you love, you know?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I can't stop creating. Like, I wish I had the ability to just 24/7. That's it's funny that came up too. If all of a sudden artists were paid like a not a stimulus, but a living wage because AI took over art. Is that a negative thing or a positive thing because now you're getting paid like a living salary and you're able to just create on your own time? Or is it a shame because now people are purchasing more of fake art, basically?
I don't know. I think, like you said, I'll always be creative. Like, even if it's all AI and stuff, you know, I don't think that there's been a real backlash from it. And I'm in agreement. It's just the way of how our technology is evolving and stuff.
I threw out a theory the other day to a mutual friend, Kyle. I said, what if the AI we're starting to use now is what the actual AI is allowing us to see, letting us know that we're not quite ready. Like AI is not ready. It's not there yet. It's not going to take over, but it's literally taken over for the last like 20 years, and everything we've consumed between then and now, like we have no idea, but it took over like so many years ago. I hope AI isn't listening.
Yeah, and we don't even realize it.
Yeah.
Yeah, stuff like that. That's wild. That's a great theory. I know what this guy needs. Yeah, new coloring book in the works. Yeah.
I got to see a sneak peek of it, but is there a theme you're ready to like tell people about, or is that something you're still holding close to the vest?
It's gonna be cryptid themed.
Yeah, that I had a feeling when I saw the Bigfoot. So I was like, oh, I wonder if the whole thing's gonna be cryptid. That's awesome. Do you have any cryptid festivals or anything lined up right now?
Yeah, but not coming up, but in September for sure. There's gonna be one. Jess is putting together
Oh, Cryptid
her
Fest.
first
Yeah.
Cryptid Fest. Yeah, I got Squonkapalooza. That's in like August. It's over in Pennsylvania. That's gonna be
Nice.
awesome. Last year it was great. I didn't realize it was the first year of it. Usually, I might not have gone that far for it,
Right.
but the turnout was like awesome. Yes, I sought the knowledge of the cryptid master herself. Tidbits.
The general.
The general. She gave me a plethora of knowledge. What's the thing you redraw the most while you're sketching?
I mean, it's always like a D&D character. It might be a warrior one day, a wizard another, but like it's always some kind of heroic. It's always what I go to. It's usually eyes. The first thing I go to is eyes. It's weird. I don't even go for the head. Sometimes I'll kind of like map out the body a little bit, but like if my face isn't how I want it to look, I'm like, forget it. I hate this picture anyway, and I need to break that habit. But
Yeah. What do we got here? Did you start with the eyes on yours?
I sure did.
Nice. I think I did too. I usually start with the eyebrow and like the nose.
Yep.
Start right there.
You're not a huge Tim Burton fan, are you?
I appreciate him for his contributions to cinema. So yeah, that's how I am.
Are you excited for Beetlejuice 2?
I'm cautiously optimistic. How I like to put it. You know, I'm looking excited with the D&D posts and stuff. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, I'm gonna do more of that.
Yeah. I love drawing monsters and creatures and stuff. It's like my jam for sure.
Yeah, it's fun because it's kind of limitless. Like a monster, when you think of an elf or a human or a dwarf or whatever, like that in the framework what it's going to look like. But with a monster, it can be anything. Any creation. Jesus, both of my cameras died.
I feel that way about zombies too. Very diverse.
Yeah, you can decide how they were mutilated or like what's left of them or what pieces are hanging off. Oh, you're already onto inking. Holy hell.
It's not race. There was a time where I could not finish a picture. I would leave many thousands of them incomplete.
I still do that. I have so many incomplete pictures.
Well, you're welcome to use my system that I found I have great success with. I feel like it's done. Like I have anxiety about running out of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like not having an idea or something, or not being able to finish it. I think that's part of what it is. That little voice tells you, like, I think it's done. You know, like, or you just wanted to draw a face. You didn't want to draw the whole body and stuff. And that little voice tells you it's done. Like, just sign it. And when you sign it, the rule is you can't touch it ever again if you sign it. It gives you closure and like peace about it.
I like that. I like that a lot.
I'd say I haven't broken this rule, of course. Rules are meant to be broken. Christmas carolers from hell. Try to give them big sympathetic eyes. Dude, like you had mentioned, like it has the shape of a face, but it's extremely abstract, I guess you'd say, like loose. I found when trying to do realism in faces, less is more, always.
I don't know how Bob Ross did it, how he could just keep talking and drawing or painting.
Oh, yeah. He's a legend. I went for a walk today, and it was incredible. I love going for walks out in the woods. So inspirational. Like meditative, peaceful.
Where did you go?
I go to a little place called Pratt Farm. I believe it's haunted, or there's very strong energies there. You can feel super inspired, or if you get the whims, or get spooked, it can be really intense. Your imagination will start like going nuts. I've heard flutes out there. And it's full of creatures, so you always hear stuff rustling around. Maybe
some satyrs.
Oh, my money was on puckwudgies. You know the sound of when you click two rocks together?
Yeah.
If you're ever out in the woods and you hear that, that's them. We were out in a spot that I wish I could remember what I said. We were out for a walk in a different location. We started talking about puckwudgies because we were kind of all alone out there. Mm-hmm. We found like this great secluded areas and stuff. And Jilly's like, don't talk about them. And then we started hearing the clicking of the rocks. She was like, bye.
They heard you talking about them.
Woo. You ever thought about writing a comic book?
Yeah, I had a friend who, Jim, who we play with. He started writing it, and I started drawing it. Nothing ever came of it. I don't know what happened. I don't know. A lot of projects like that come and go, like where you're like, oh, I'd love to do this. I've had an idea for a kid's book forever, but
Yeah,
I don't know. I just need to do it.
exactly. Persistence.
How about you? Have you ever thought about doing a comic?
Oh, many times. Like, I was just thinking again about it today. Like, it surfaces sometimes, like filmmaking or writing and stuff. Like, I go through phases where I like Jones to do it, but
Mhm.
like you said, it's hard to get that push to that next step. You know?
Yeah, yeah. That's why I've liked YouTube a lot. Like, I feel like I can do things at my own pace. For a while, like, I was stressing out trying to do videos, but I'm like, you know what? I'd rather just take my time, put out stuff that I feel comfortable and I feel is like the best stuff that I can possibly make. And
Yeah, I don't do it just because for the sake of doing it.
right, right.
Until you get huge and everyone demands that you are a presence online.
Yeah, then I can hire a whole staff of people to do editing and this aspect of it.
Yeah, totally. I find it's very easy to work on a film set. Time like disappears when you're making movies and stuff. So that's a good indicator that you love doing it.
Right, right, yeah. If you had a like a budget and a crew and everything, and you could make any movie you wanted to, what would you be your first thought? Horror?
Yeah, it always goes to like try to make some like couple of indie horror movies probably. Although with unlimited budget, I'd probably stick with the horror. I was toying with the idea of making fantasy.
Mm,
But, I mean, George R. Martin's done it and stuff. Like usually they're not successful. Like it's hard to
right.
bring what's in the book to the screen sometimes.
Yeah, especially fantasy. It lives in a world where anything can exist. Dragons don't exist in our world, so we have to figure out how to put them on screen. And
Yeah. Do you think you could be an artist for like designing like creatures in video games and stuff, like enemies and bosses and
oh
characters,
yeah,
stuff
I
like that?
think oh totally. If that was like all I think I had to do, I think so. Yeah. I don't know. Between you and I, like I feel like we could sit in a room and just create things. We would die before we could stop creating things. Like I think our imagination would never stop until maybe we were too old and we couldn't. I don't know. Actually, put pens or pencil to paper.
Yeah, I hope I don't get that old.
Mm.
I want to do this forever. It's like the one consistent thing.
That would be an awesome job, though. Just coming up with creatures all day, bosses.
I have done it's doing concept art is similar to this, where you feel like kind of you get like prompts, you come up with some sketches. And they
Mm-hmm.
say they like them or they don't. And you kind of refine it and it grows. It's like when you have artwork commissioned.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, I'm starting to get into this guy. For a while, I was touch and go, but starting to dig on him.
I was sitting in the chill room for like hours doing this.
Yeah. I remember during D&D was a great time to draw too. Like if you're a player, because then you could just kind of like listen to the story or what was happening, and
It was so inspirational. I loved it.
I bet if I dug hard enough, I could find some sketches that you've done around here.
Oh, I'm sure there's a few books. I have a couple of books here. One of my books came back with a BB shot about halfway through it.
Yeah, between BBs and cards and pennies.
Oh, the pennies. I remember doing that with Hamlin. I remember I got him so good one night. We were all chilling there, and he kept, he'd grab them. Remember, we'd flick them at each other, and he'd snatch them and like hold them because he didn't
Yeah.
want to get nailed anymore because he was inadvertently get hit. And I was like, he had like both hands on like 200 of them, like $2 worth. Wow, dude, you got so many pennies. You got like all of them. Can I see? And he was like, sure, yeah. And he showed me, and I slapped his hands.
I remember that day. He was probably trying to go get butts with him or something.
Oh yeah, he probably would have saved him for smokes or something.
Just start another one?
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Sorry, my ghouls are nude. I don't know if you clothed yours.
Yeah, mine's going to have a loincloth, but that's it.
Nice. Oh, there's a sound effect. You do models and stuff
The D&D stuff, or?
for all the drawing and like references.
Oh, not a lot. I should do more of that, like, because I find that when I do, like, as I have like one of those kind of posable anatomy things, and I find every time that I actually mess around with it and I actually focus on it, like my drawings do come out better. But I still have a real problem with like kind of depth of field stuff. Like, I
Yeah.
don't even bother that much anymore. I'm like, I give up.
Well, I love using the references, and I think it's helped me greatly. I use Google all the time, or just pictures I take here and there, pictures of myself. A lot of my artwork is it's just me posing, and then I paint something else.
That's a great idea. I have a library of like just from making thumbnails from YouTube. I have like thousands of pictures of myself that I've posed for. Like I'm sure I've got enough in there of like.
See, there you go. Try drawing like a cartoon, or like try drawing a version of that.
I've never been good at like anything that requires like cars or buildings, any kind of symmetry or like a lot of straight lines.
I hear you. I've had a real hard time with that stuff too. I like the chaotic lines and scribbles and squiggles and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a question. Have you ever thought back to like your first inspirations, people who introduced you to artwork and stuff? Like drawing. When did you realize like you like doing that?
Good question. I know, like right when I was little, like the first thing I wanted to do was always draw. I'd get crayons and draw. But I'm trying to think. It wasn't until until I met Rob Burnt. Like I'd always drawn up until then, but like just I don't know, here and there. And like he was a really good artist and like he would just sit and draw and would just sit and draw for like a whole afternoon and like I think at that point I was just like I just wanted like I knew then and there like I like it wasn't just something I was doodling with, like I knew something was there. It was something else. It was something I was supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
How about you? How old were you when you kind of realized?
Well, I was thinking a lot about that the other day, and I know my mom and my family, they were always really supportive of it. Like they saw it, and I remember like my uncle and stuff would buy me monster books. I was thinking about the first comic I ever got. My grandfather, we used to call him. Still have that comic.
Really?
It's an A-Rack
A-Rack. That sounds familiar.
from DC. He's kind of like a Conan, but
Yeah, okay.
Indian or Native American, I think. Oh, I just got us canceled. Strategically placed elbow to cover groin.
I wish I could do hands better.
What they say.
When if I draw my own hand, it doesn't come out too bad, but like if I don't have that reference and I just kind of see it in my head, I can't do it.
Oh yeah, forget it. That's where that whole model thing comes into play.
Yeah.
Like posing and stuff. It's way better to have like you can think that you have a good idea of what you're trying to draw. But sometimes it's like, no. I find that often with birds or hands too. Like I'm like, oh yeah, that looks good. Then I let it sit for a minute and come back to it. Like, oops, nope. The birds, I usually just chalk it up to being like, oh, it's a fantasy setting.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe somebody will want to color these.
Maybe.
Full page.
Almost. I'm getting there. Close.
There's some pencil shading on this.
Yeah, I love inking and then going back with pencil and shading it.
Yeah. Have you ever messed with the shader markers there? You know, like the grayscale stuff?
A little bit. They're I really enjoy them. It's just it's one of those things where it's one more step and I'm like, I have such a bad habit of drawing it, scanning it in, printing it out, inking the print out, and then scanning it in, and then inking or actually I will actually color the inked version, but usually I have like 2 to 3 copies of it before it gets into the computer, and then I like to touch it up here and there like digitally.
Yeah. You're falling prey to you never want to sign your art. You don't want to.
Yeah.
You don't want to sign off on it. Be like, this is it. Done. I get the same way with. I want to record steps just in case I mess up so bad that I want to start over.
Yeah.
Where I liked it. I think that's dangerous territory with iPads and stuff because it's really easy to do that.
Yeah. Have you ever watched any like Paul's like drawings that he does?
I love them.
And it's so cool because like I do know what you mean, like where there's pitfalls there where like you can just undo. I don't know. Is it any different than an eraser though, or?
Good point. Well, you say you start inking, you can't undo it.
That's
I mean,
true.
you can. I guess there's been ways like you could white it out. Like I think of in comics and stuff, they're always changing panels and stuff.
Yeah.
You can see the value in it for sure. I like getting my hands dirty. I like feeling the pencil.
Yeah.
Feeling the scratch of the pencil versus the scratch of the marker, or like a paintbrush.
Yeah, that is the one thing. Like, I just got a new phone, and it's got a stylus built into it.
Oh,
So
sweet.
yeah, so I can go in and I can use the sketchbook app and draw in it, and I'm really impressed by it. But I still prefer to have a pencil that I have to sharpen and.
No, I just couldn't get to it, but I didn't do any contributions to the Spawn.
Yeah.
January there, Spawn month. I'm sure Todd's going to be pissed at me.
He was expecting you. I know he
Yeah.
was. So I didn't either. I would love to have, but it's like you got to choose what you want to do with your time sometimes. And
Sometimes. Like I was just starting the coloring book and stuff, and a bunch of stuff going here. And I'm like, I think this stuff is more important.
right.
I did that Spawn for the 300th.
Yeah, I remember that. Hmm?
And somebody else, like a name. I was like, of course, I can't remember his name now. Like some incredible artist. He released his, and it looked remarkably similar. Like we both had the same idea.
Oh wow.
Keep wanting to say Alex Ross, but I don't think it was Alex Ross. But it was like one of those legends.
Yeah, Alex Ross is amazing.
He's all about models and stuff.
You can see that totally.
Have you ever seen his behind the scenes stuff? It's awesome. Like
No.
he has people standing there in like a trash bag with like a cardboard hat, and he turns it into like Galactus.
Ah,
Like he uses their pose.
that's hilarious.
Yeah, these like really simple costumes and stuff. Never been great at like a professional inking, like the actual craft of it.
Inkers have an eye that I don't have, the way that they can see the shadows and how they should fall and how, like,
Yeah.
sometimes you look at the original illustration and you're like, I can't believe like how much of that just disappeared onto black ink, and it looks so much like better now, like how crazy it looks.
Yeah, it totally brings to life and stuff. I find that when I color, or like I paint, a picture, like I'll have the outline, and it will look like okay. But then when I start adding shadows and color and stuff, it totally comes to life.
Yeah, that is true. With every layer that you add on top of it, I think it just looks better and better. And
Well, I'm signing it.
oh, you done did it.
Oh.
I don't think mine's going to get to the point of signing. By the looks of things, but I do like the way it's coming along. I'll just have to finish it.
Wait.
Did you finish both of them, the first and the second?
Well, I signed them. Oh yeah, finished them.
Well, those look phenomenal. I will finish my inking at another time on this, but yeah, this has been a lot of fun. I really enjoy this a lot.
Yeah, this is wicked cool. I'd like just hanging out. I mean, if you can call a video together out of it, cool.
Yeah, and even if I don't, like you said, it's fun to just sit and draw.
Well, thanks for this opportunity, and thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. I'll talk to you later.
All right, later.
I do hope you've enjoyed this episode as much as I've enjoyed making it. I really enjoy spending time with my friend Artie. I love watching him draw, and I love drawing with him. So we'll be putting out more of these in the near future, probably in a few weeks. And I will do my best to correct the over-the-shoulder drawing cameras to look as best as they can. We'll figure it out. This is our first episode, so I appreciate that you bore with it, and I hope you enjoyed it. And if you're loving the content that I'm creating as much as I love creating the content that you guys are watching, would you please consider liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing, and hitting the little bell icon because it'll let you know every time I put out a new video. Don't forget to make somebody smile today and make yourself a better person tomorrow than you were today. Tomorrow. Let's make the world spin a little bit happier and a little bit more artsier together. Let's sing and dance in the sun and in the rain as one, my brothers and sisters. Live life to the fullest and love every moment of it because you just never know when that last moment's going to come for you. However, never live in fear of that moment. Always live in love and never let your inner child die. Oh, for the love of art. Take care of yourselves, take care of one another, and take care of those around you who cannot take care of themselves, for they are the ones that need it the most. And if no one has told you today that they love you, the Vodkast loves you very much, just the way you are. All right, guys, I'm Geycen Oliveira. This is Drawing with Artie, and I'll catch you guys a little bit further on down the road. Take care, my friends, and happy drawing.
Don't go to sleep with a catch it in your pocket.